What's up, you SNDL shareholders and moneymakers? Welcome back to the channel. Sundial growers had such a great week last week. $1 million question is, can they triple but before August 1st week? And I'll share why I'm talking about tripling the stock price of SNDL before August 8th. That is the key date. So we'll be talking a lot about why August 1st week is going to be the key for SNDL shareholders and investors and all the moneymakers community. We'll be also talking about why SNDL had such a great week last week. Take a look for last 5 days. We're up 33%. If you bought CNDL after my last video, which was about 9 days back, and we precisely talked about all these potential catalysts for SNDL. One of the big catalysts is coming up for SNDL, and it could result probably into $1 price point, whether it's through the organic growth of the stock price or the reverse split. So let's talk about that. SNDL is at the risk of getting delisted from Nasdaq, and which is why I am going to share a lot of information in this video, hoping you can make informed financial decision. I'll be also talking about why there is a momentum, why it went up or ramped up 33% just in last 5 days, as you see on my screen right here. It was a 10 cents jump just in 1 week, which is amazing. And what can drive bigger price point for SNDL, what you can expect for SNDL in this particular video. Now, in return, all I ask you is just to hit the like button. If you own SNDL, just hit the like button. If you believe SNDL is going to hit $1 organically before, in terms of the price point, before August 8th date, so we have 1.5 months where it could triple, and that will be win-win situation both for SNDL and for their shareholders. We see they have a ton of money, or at least at the moment what we see is they have pretty good amount of cash and short-term investment, $492 million. Of course, their liability is pretty high, and as you see, the revenue in Q1 was $17.6 million, which is 78% up year-over-year change. If you take a look at December, they did $22.72 million. Quarter one is usually, it's a slower quarter for SNDL and many other companies, as a matter of fact. But take a look, last year they did very much close to $10 million in revenue. Now, before we talk a lot of juicy and interesting information, you guys, SNDL shareholders, write down in the comment section if you really believe that it's going to triple within 1.5 months from now. Don't forget to hit the like button so we can share this video and information with more and more people, and subscribe to the channel as well. I do a ton of research, analysis, and key updates, and I share back with you, hoping you can also take the advantage of my research and make an informed financial decision. So hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Likes and subscribes are for free. I'm looking for 250 likes this time around on this SNDL video, especially you made 33% after watching my last video. Now let's talk about SNDL and what's going on. SNDL, so this is the news on 22nd, they jumped higher as investor applaud Xenabis bid. Nasdaq SNDL just gained 13% in Tuesday trading session. SNDL is stalking the horse bid of Xenabis, which is loved by their investors, and investors were excited. Some potential promising news as April monthly cannabis sales rise as well. So cannabis overall as a sector grew a ton more. They kicked the shortened Juneteenth week because it was a long weekend and holiday on Monday. On Tuesday, the share jumped 13%, trading at 35 cents. And as you see right now, we are at pretty close to 40 cents. The day range was 38 cents and 39 cents. The year range is 29 cents, and the highest was $1.06 as you take a look. Now, what is this deal? Sundial Growers enters into the bid agreement with Xenabis Global Inc.'s asset. And this is amazing because, and I'll tell you why, but let's take a look at this article first. The assets, so particular this bid, what they're talking about is they are rendered at June 17th, 2022. It entered into a purchase agreement in the form of stalking horse bid which is the bid agreement pursuant to which the shares of Xenabis Global Inc. and the business and assets of this direct and indirect wholly owned subsidiary, collectively the Xenabis Group, would be acquired by Sundial. And if you think about like how that can impact the business, because they have been acquiring more and more business, the bid agreement is subject to approval by the Superior Court supervising the CCAA proceedings and to potential for alternatively bidding pursuant that will follow as well. Now, what this deal includes is the covered asset for bid agreement includes 380,000 square foot of indoor growing facility located in New Brunswick with an annual production capacity of 46,000 kilograms of dried cannabis and 1,500,000 kilograms of extraction capacity. Now, this facility received EU, so European Union GMP certification, providing a license to the facility to export internationally Israel, Malta, and United Kingdom, and the EU region. This has a joint venture agreement with Zen Farm Limited, based in allowing the commercial bulk imports in Malta from the facility in this location, subsequent exports of the finished medical cannabis products to the countries of the European Union and UK, United Kingdom. The bid agreement also provides the acquisition of decommissioned 255,000 square feet of indoor facility in Stellarton, Nova Scotia. And this was used to be packaging, processing, and value-added cannabis product multi-facility within that manufacturing facility. Now, this is going to be amazing, and they will be adding a ton more revenue on their book of business, and everyone loaded. They also gained, as the sector itself, cannabis was rising last week, and it was one of the leader stock, SNDL, regardless of it's a penny stock. It's a real penny stock at the moment, with the market cap of very close to $1 billion. So if you think about the market cap, 963 million US dollars. If you think about the revenue we already talked about, was 17.6 million in Q1. Operating expense was pretty close to 17 million as well. Net income was negative 38 million more or less, and their EBITDA was negative 11.38 million, which is rising as well. But this will eventually grow. It will eventually scale, and they'll be adding more revenue and less percentage of the EBITDA. That's my understanding, and that's the goal that they are looking forward to accomplish. Now, why this is important? Because Nasdaq grants cannabis firm SNDL extension to regain the compliance, which is one of the bigger factors that we also want to consider, that because one of the biggest risks that SNDL has at the moment is getting delisted from Nasdaq. Now, you may or may not know, Nasdaq has a minimum bid price rule requirement where the stock needs to trade about $1. Now, if they don't, and they significantly go below $1 and stays there for a longer period of time, Nasdaq may issue the notice to have them trade about $1. And that's the minimum bid price rule requirement for Nasdaq for a long time. Nasdaq granted cannabis firm Sundial the extension to regain the compliance. So now what happened was, Canadian cannabis producer Sundial Growers has been given 180 day to regain the compliance with Nasdaq's minimum bid rule price requirement. With this company that was notified on August 9 that it was offside Nasdaq's continued listing standards and given up until February 7th, 2022. Now, what happens in most of this situation is they will give them extension. So Nasdaq precisely did what the process is, and they gave to get extension to regain the compliance. The extension gives company until August 8th to regain the compliance. What that means? That means is SNDL needs to trade about $1. Now, will that happen organically? Possibly yes, if the things work out well. If not, what can happen is they get delisted. But there is still a workaround that they can use as a reverse stock split, and many companies have done in the past. If you think about CTRM back in the days, they did the pretty same thing. And I'm hoping that they will do, at the last resort, SNDL will be reverse splitting their stock. That means that the price for common share must close above $1 or 1.27 Canadian dollar in this use case, because we need to make sure that it's $1 US. That is the minimum, and they need to trade minimum of 10 consecutive trading days, maintaining a minimum bid price rule requirement of at least $1 per share. is one of the Nasdaq's listing requirement, and Sundial, which trades on Nasdaq at the moment. And you want to be on Nasdaq because there are lots and lots of eyeballs looking into Nasdaq, one of the bigger stock exchange in United States, tech focused, but they have other sectors as well baked into it, and so many people trade on Nasdaq, look into the Nasdaq index zone and so forth in the United States and across the globe in the world. Sundial, with that trades on Nasdaq as the ticker symbol SNDL, you already know, is one of the 4 Canadian cannabis company. So there are not that many cannabis company Canadian that are on the Nasdaq Stock Exchange, and Sundial is one of them, one of unique with a strong community support. A lot of people are looking closely into SNDL. This stock was super meme stock when we saw the rally last year in the penny stock, OTC market, so on and so forth. They have been deemed for non-compliant with exchange continuous listing standards. So we'll see what happens next. But if you really believe that they're going to hit $1, don't forget to hit the like button. More importantly, don't forget to hit the subscribe button as well so you don't miss out on some of the videos that we have been talking about. SNDL stock news, Sundial grower surrenders 30 cents mark amid risk aversion. But more importantly, I wanted to talk to you about a little bit more about Sundial growers to split stock during a turnover year. And this is the news on Yahoo Finance that we found, and I want to go quickly look into it and I want to share with you. Now, Sundial growers stock price 41 cents per share, fallen below. We have seen that this year, and $1 is the $1 per share, $1 rather per share is the minimum price bid rule requirement. The company has both exhausted the options of grace period extension, bringing the share price back to the compliance. So they're not there yet. Shareholders will most likely vote for the reverse stock split in June meeting. So June meeting is super important. 2022 is the turnover year for SNDL as well. Wall Street expects the profitability this year, which is amazing as well. Following the earlier coverage for SNDL stock in January, when the author pondered about the possibility of SNDL stock announcing a reverse split to avoid getting delisted from Nasdaq, the company received 180-day extension, as I just mentioned to you, in February, and they have the compliance deadline this period until August 8. However, Sundial stock still must rise above $1 per share, $1 per share, and hold above for the threshold of at least 10 straight days between now and August 8th. 2022. However, the market sell has not been kind to SNDL, as we already know, and the share have plunged this year with 34 cents as the lowest price on May 12th, and company share price is far from the ideal trading range, guarantees that it's exceeding extended listing on Nasdaq. So they'll have to make sure management at Sundial growers reveal the plan to go ahead with the reverse stock split during the third quarter of 2022, which is going to get approval from their shareholders, and we'll be seeing that meeting will be held in June, before the end of June. Shareholders will vote on the proposal during the company's annual meeting that is expected within 2 days from now, June 27th. So look out for this. June 27th is one of the key dates for SNDL. It's in company's best interest to remain publicly listed, to remain on Nasdaq, and just don't go into the OTC zone or anything outside of the market, because outside of the Nasdaq, otherwise there will be a big challenge of the volume, and there won't be that many eyeballs looking into SNDL. So do your own due diligence. If you own SNDL, you really want to know this. Now, average volume 88 million. What did we do on Friday? 58 million. As I just mentioned, the whole cannabis sector went up, and if you take a look at against the 88 million, we went above the volume, average volume on June 21st, 114 million. But then we quickly dropped to 50%. And if you see the spike from 29 cents, we jumped to 35 cents, which is a massive spike in my opinion. And we stayed there. We went almost at 40 cents, could not really cross that bar, and we were closed at 39 cents, which is understandable. And if you take a look at this chart, that is their moving average chart that is going down and down and down. The red bar suggests the moving average, which is going down. It did spike for 88 cents, 84 cents, I believe, in March 25th, 2022. So before 3 months, we were at 88, 89 cents, and we dropped down to 35 level, 32 level rather. And we're trying to get back up. Can we go back up? Probably not. We'll see how that works out. But if you take a look at the RSI, is pretty healthy, 44, not an oversold condition. stock is really steady between 35 and 40 cents for a while. So if you take a look, it's trading between right here. So this is 37, and this is the first time we actually dropped under the support level, but 37 was a pretty good support, rather 37 and 10. 37 cents was a pretty good support, so it was trading between 37 cents as a support, but we broke the support once again in June, and we went all the way right here. So if you take a look at this price point, let's see, and this price point we just went below around 30 cents, and we now are started getting back up. So if you bought it when I did the last video around 30 cents, you might be making pretty good return, 33%. Give me a like for that, subscribe for that as well. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to come back and see more updates on SNDL. Subscribe, turn on the notification bell. I'll see you in the next video. Happy investing in SNDL.